Analyzing the facts. Turn your eyes back to Jesus. As I sit here and take in all of the news from every direction, all I see is deceivers, liars, corporate media, cover-ups, agenda, all pushing the same propaganda. It's time for a game changer, a visionary, an innovative person who changes the way that people think of the situations. It's time for Game Changer TV, telling it like it is. Get in the game. Thank you for tuning in to Game Changer TV. I'm your host, Terry Lynn, and this is the channel where every day we're telling it like it is. Today is December 5th, 2025, and I thought I was going to be done with this Charlie Kirk stuff, but I saw a video that blew my mind, so I wanted to put that in here, and I'm going to review some factual evidence that I showed in the past. This is mostly not going to be any commentary. It's going to be just straight facts, and you come to your own opinion on this, but our eyes need to be back on Jesus and not a man. Let's just jump straight into this. So I did a whole video a couple of months ago in September, right after this happened, and I showed the 33, 11, 11, 11. I showed all the fakery and everything. I talked about that his memorial was on the 33rd degree parallel and all the other things that had happened on the 33rd degree parallel, including John F. Kennedy's assassination. I'm not going to revisit all of that, okay? I'm going to just show facts related to this Charlie Kirk situation, and y'all tell me if this is factual or a psyop based on the information that is out there. Jesus warned us in Matthew when his disciples said, "Master, tell us the sign of thy coming in the end of the age." And the first words out of Jesus Christ's mouth was, "Let no man deceive you." Deceive. Deliberately cause someone to believe something that is not true. Okay? It says to give a mistaken impression. Could people be being deceived by this whole situation? Jesus said, "Let no man deceive you. Let no man cause you to believe something that's not true." Let's jump into this.
Now, you would think if Tyler Robson turned himself into the police station there in Utah, there'd be some video footage of it. You know what I mean? But saw another video a while ago of a guy talking about he called up there, was trying to get it, and they were like, "No, it don't exist. We don't have it." That's pretty strange. Being a police station and all, you know, you got cameras, and you would think they would have something like that. Yeah. I'm going to say it probably didn't happen.
Rudy Bautista is a Rule 8 attorney, qualifications only select number of defense attorneys in Utah have in order to defend cases with a capital offense, some involving a possible death penalty. He's not affiliated with the case involving Tyler Robinson, who's accused of shooting and killing Charlie Kirk back in September. I showed him what I found that could indicate there is potential missing evidence in the case.
He said, "Hey, I know who Charlie Kirk's shooter is."
On September 17th, 2025, Washington County Sheriff Nate Brooksby held a press conference.
Our job was not to interview. Our job was just to get him here.
After Charlie Kirk's alleged shooter was taken into custody in Washington County less than 2 days after the shooting.
Within the hour, my friend drove Tyler and his parents to my office, where he was greeted by plainclothes detectives.
After learning of this, I submitted a public records request to obtain any video of Tyler Robinson walking into the jail facility. Washington County responded saying there were no records responsive to the request, as Robinson did not go to the jail area. Our request for any holding room video was denied. A few weeks later, I re-upped the request on a more generalized scale for surveillance video showing Tyler Robinson walking into the sheriff's office.
For the state of Utah, we would certainly hope that this video is available.
The response? Our office does not have any applicable records responsive to this request, as the surveillance footage is no longer available after the 30-day retention period.
If, in fact, it has been destroyed and not preserved, it's very concerning. And if it has, then it's very concerning that they're telling you they don't have it. If they no longer have it, I would have expected to say that this video has been provided to the Utah County law enforcement. Please contact them. But instead, this letter leads, in my opinion, as trying to shut the door and not give you free access to the press.
While it's not clear if the video exists and was just handed over to another agency, in a response to me, Washington County shared with me they don't believe the video was shared with anyone involved in the case.
Wanting to get videos showing that he turned himself in and the manner he did so would be crucial for the defense work of mitigation.
26 years as a criminal defense attorney in Utah, Bautista is currently working another capital case in Utah County with the state intending to seek the death penalty.
Again, Mr. Kirk, by all counts, was a great young man who was helping educate people, and we encourage that. And this is very tragic that he's lost his life, but it is not a death penalty case.
When you look at this case on the surface and what you've seen play out, what stands out to you?
What stands out to me is this is not an aggravated murder case. In order for it to be an aggravated murder case, that something is that can qualify for the death penalty, there has to be an aggravating factor.
Bautista says the alleged weapon in the shooting alone doesn't meet the standard for prosecutors to seek the death penalty.
The risk of hitting someone else really isn't there. And so that's why I believe that aggravating factor is really weak. Now, why it was charged that way is clearly political.
I hope he gets the death penalty.
And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah.
Instead of looking at it objectively, a prosecutor is to look at the evidence objectively and then charge the person with the most applicable crime. Here, where they're saying it will be this crime, we are now taking evidence. So they're trying to make the facts fit a cause of action that is not applicable.
Bautista believes the death penalty conversation in this case was pushed too soon.
Certainly suggests abuse in our higher government.
Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray filed a notice of intent to seek the death penalty against Tyler Robinson, who's accused of shooting and killing Charlie Kirk. Gray said on September 16th, just days after the shooting, that the decision to seek the death penalty was made independently. Brian Schnee, KUTV2 News.
In a homicide case, in a criminal homicide case, what is the standard investigative procedures? In a homicide case, standard procedures, any homicide, standard procedures focus on 1, securing the scene. We didn't see any crime scene tape go up. Documenting everything. We didn't see police under that tent not one time. We saw removal of evidence. Collecting of evidence. The police should have been collecting evidence. We saw other people taking it down. Interviewing witnesses. We did not see the police interviewing witnesses. And analyzing forensics. We did not see them collecting any shell casings or anything. All while meticulously preserving the chain of custody to build a comprehensive picture of the crime scene, identify the victim, and ultimately find the perpetrator, moving from initial response to suspect identification and case preparation. So let's go back to the non-crime scene, because none of this was treated like a crime scene. We didn't see the police collecting evidence. We didn't see them interviewing witnesses. We didn't see the crime scene tape going on. But let's go back and look at what should have been deemed the crime scene if a crime was committed.
He removes the camera that's right behind where Charlie Kirk was sitting. You see these two guys in the tent. They're actually looking around. Now, wouldn't you be a little nervous thinking that there's the shooter that may fire another shot to make sure that or send someone to grab that camera? Because that camera gives the only view where in frame by frame that you could actually see that the bullet came from where he was shooting from. It would catch it in slow motion, which we know.
Safety team's here.
And y'all, that's removal of evidence of a crime scene. So they should be arrested for tampering with evidence. But let this play out.
Send someone to grab that camera. Because that camera gives the only view where in frame by frame that you could actually see that the bullet came from where he was shooting from. It would catch it in slow motion, which we know,
Safety
and I
here.
know that it didn't come
I just heard them
back.
say the active shooter, Charlie Kirk, has been
So
shot.
this dude is actually going up on the camera, up on Charlie's chair that he just was murked in, unfortunately, and removing this camera. But guess what else does he do? He actually goes there because there's something more important than just the camera. It's the SD card. And look at him. He's looking, he keeps looking around. Other guy's watching his back, grabs the SD card, done. It's gone. It's over. So that is what I was talking about.
My son just messaged me and says that Charlie Kirk.
So we saw no standard operational procedure that's normally done in a homicide was carried out at this quote crime scene. So I typed in a crime scene investigation, would it be permitted for the location of the crime to be cemented over? No, it would not be permitted to cement over the location of a crime while an investigation is active, as it would constitute destruction or concealment of evidence, which is a serious crime. And yet here we are just a couple of days after Charlie Kirk was supposedly killed when they're cementing over the crime scene.
This is the courtyard where it all happened. It's now open to the public again. There's lots of people coming here, placing flowers, cards, things like that. The university is already making some changes. They're replacing the grass where Charlie Kirk was speaking with pavers. And there are several petitions online asking the school to make this into a permanent memorial for Charlie Kirk.
And this was just a couple of days after this. The police had not even gone there and carried out an investigation, collected forensics to see where the bullet casing was, to verify the trajectory of the shot that was given. But yet they're covering up the crime scene, which is in itself a serious crime. Removing of evidence, which was a serious crime. Not taping off the area, not investigating it, not having witnesses. Cementing over where the crime took place. And this is supposed to be a capital murder case, and they're destroying evidence. The next day, why did J.D. Vance fly to retrieve Charlie Kirk's body? The next day, September 11th, Vice President J.D. Vance flew to Salt Lake City aboard Air Force Two to pick up Charlie Kirk's casket. The Vice President of the United States flew the vice presidential plane to go pick up a civilian, okay? Why would a vice president get involved in a private citizen's murder? A vice president of the United States generally would not have a direct official role or legal jurisdiction in a private citizen's local murder case. So yes or no, is it proper protocol for the vice president to fly a murdered body on Air Force Two? No, it is not protocol for the vice president to fly a murder victim. This person says there has to be something illegal about flying Charlie Kirk's casket on Air Force Two. This plane is reserved for vice presidents, which Charlie Kirk is not. It is not protocol for vice president to fly a murder victim, but Air Force Two has transported caskets like the one of slain conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. Why is this whole thing breaking protocol in the way that it was investigated, the way it was handled, with evidence being missing, with no surveillance tape at the police department, with the vice president swooping in the next day and picking up his body?
We have a vice president that's basically a body snatcher, a guy who flew across the country to pick up Charlie Kirk's body on Air Force Two and get that body the hell away from potential investigators before anybody wised up that Charlie Kirk was flying aboard Air Force Two in his casket, kind of like when JFK flew aboard Air Force One in his casket. Yet another commonality between these two stories. And that while Charlie Kirk was flying around dead with J.D. Vance, he hadn't even been given an autopsy. He never was. They tell us that J.D. Vance is this law and order vice president. and that a few years from now, he might even be the law and order president. Yet he's flying in and transporting bodies of murder victims around the country without autopsies. I mean, does anybody else not think that that's consequential in all of this? Where's the conversation about this? JD Vance flew into Utah and picked up that body before an autopsy was performed. We've all heard the recordings of these doctors and law enforcement saying, oh yeah, no autopsy, we're not doing an autopsy. The vice president flew in and took custody of that body. At the very least, that's just all incredibly strange, isn't it? A vice president body snatcher.
Started any conspiracy theories before I go to bed. I just wanted to point something out that I noticed. So the New York Times had posted an article titled "The Charlie Kirk Shooting Visual Timeline Maps, Videos, and Photos." We can agree that this is a New York Times article, right? And in this New York Times article, they say that around 12:20 p.m., Charlie Kirk was shot. So can someone please explain to me why Benjamin Netanyahu posted on X praying for Charlie Kirk at 12:02 p.m., roughly 18 minutes before Charlie Kirk got shot?
Who runs the world? Who runs the world? Well, the scriptures say that Satan actually runs the world. He is the prince of this world. But currently, there's an oligarchy that's really hard to pinpoint of who's actually calling the shots. And that's really what's happening in this election, is that the presidency is no more. It's really kind of a shadow government of administrative experts that call the shots, that the president is basically just a Hollywood actor or actress that goes around, poses for pictures, produce speeches. They don't actually make any decisions. And so the form and the structure of government, as the founding fathers intended, is no more.
Who runs the world?
Who runs the world?
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Oh, okay. Can you just do a field clip documenting that?
Sorry, 10-9?
Can you just add a step to the case documenting that there was no autopsy?
Yeah, 287, I'll clear the hospital. I need an officer at Timpanogos Hospital to come stage in the emergency room bay.
Jesse just told me that he just got on the phone and Charlie's wife is coming to signature and they're bringing a car over here for a treatment.
Charlie's wife is coming to land at signature, you said?
Sir, and Jesse's going to go to Duncan right now and pick up a car for her.
Okay, I'm a little confused because that's what Corey just said. They said they were landing it.
In Utah, in a murder case, is an autopsy mandatory. Now, he was killed in Utah, and the vice president went there to pick him up. And they said they're not going to do an autopsy at the hospital. And then the vice president comes and snatches him away. Okay? Yes, an autopsy is generally mandatory and expected in a murder case in Utah, as homicide falls under the medical examiner's required jurisdiction for investigation, ensuring the cause and manner of death are determined.
That brings me to a question I've got non-stop. Didn't Erica Kirk not want an autopsy? You guys, it doesn't matter. She doesn't get that choice. Nobody does in a homicide. I don't care who you are. Think about it. In a homicide, an autopsy isn't optional. Families can't say no, and video evidence doesn't replace forensic science. Of course, she would have said no if it was up to her, but it wasn't up to her because an autopsy is evidence. We're talking bullet trajectory. We're talking wound track. We're talking recovery of the projectile for ballistics. All of that is needed to build a criminal case that can hold up in court. So no, Erica Kirk not wanting an autopsy, if that's even true, doesn't matter. That's not how the law works. The medical examiner decides, not the spouse, period. Because skipping an autopsy in a homicide case is not just unusual, it's virtually unheard of. Homicides almost always get autopsied. That's how you build a criminal case. Without that, what do you even hand to a jury? Just vibes? And that
I am throwing my funeral director flag after police dispatch audio came out and said there was no autopsy performed and that the doctor at the hospital signed the death certificate. I'm going to break this down for you as a funeral director, been in the industry for 15 years. I am not going to talk about specifics. I am not going to talk about conspiracies. I'm just going to give you the facts, and then you can come to your own conclusion after that. All over the internet for 2 weeks now, I've been seeing people say, well, an autopsy was not needed because we saw what happened. That is totally contradictory to the law. Autopsies are required always in the case of homicide, suicide, car accidents, any unexpected, unattended deaths, any deaths of violence. They need this not just to pinpoint the cause of death, but also for legal proceedings. You would still need those facts from the medical examiner in the court of law. Every area is different, but it is pretty consistent across the board that these types of deaths 100% of the time get an autopsy. I have never, ever seen a case like this not receive an autopsy. If you are wondering about the portion where they say the doctor at the hospital provided the cause of death on the death certificate, again, that would not be the case in a situation like this. It would have been the medical examiner after the autopsy was completed. Let's add to that there are contradictory statements now. Some saying there was, some saying there wasn't. It's not for me to decide what's truthful. It's for you to get the facts. And I'm letting you know from a professional that no autopsy is completely abnormal, not done, unacceptable.
Israeli honeypot story just got way more sinister. After I started doing some more digging, I had to do a follow-up. But before we get into it, make sure you like this video, make sure you share this video, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you follow. So we're going to double back and talk about Erica Kirk's parents. There have been two consistent narratives put out there by her parents. One, we don't really know who her dad was, at least we didn't. And two, her mother raised her all by herself. Oh, and probably the most important one, her parents were divorced, and that's the reason why she supposedly moved to Scottsdale, Arizona from Ohio. Now, the reason that everyone thought that this was true was because of words that came out of Erica's mouth, because the media in many publications also pushed this narrative and went along with it without questioning Erica or her family. Erica's parents are named Lori and Kent Fronsfit. It is true that Erica's parents are divorced. It is also true that Erica and her mom, Lori, did move to Scottsdale, Arizona. But what is not true is that Lori and Erica moved to Scottsdale, Arizona because of the divorce. You see, by Erica's own words, her mom moved to Arizona not because of the divorce, but because of a business opportunity. Because of her past history with the DHS, it would be easier starting a business while working with the DHS in a place where she had connections.
How did your mom choose Phoenix?
So she chose to move to Phoenix from Ohio because there was more of an opportunity for a female business owner out here, especially from the standpoint of she was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense. And so she had other business partners that were out here that were already in that industry, even one that was a mentor of hers. So it was really convenient to be able to come all together in one place to really have that.
Now, once again, Erica mentions her mother over and over and over again. The media says that she was raised by her mother alone, and they effectively pretend like Kent had nothing to do with Erica's life and her upbringing. And although many people keep trying to connect AZ Tech International and their business with Israel to Kent Fronsfit, it turns out it was Lori that started the business. And Kent, the father who supposedly wasn't involved in the mother's life nor Erica's life, their entire life post-divorce, was associated with the company as the program research director. And that company was started in 2003. And it's based in Scottsdale, Arizona. And once again, although the majority of Erica's life, she pretended like her dad had nothing to do with her life, she admits here that her dad moved to Arizona supposedly because he had some family there, and therefore her and her mom weren't as alone without family as people might have thought. She admits her dad was part of her life after pretending he wasn't her entire career.
But my father ended up moving out here as well because my grandparents had a home out in Sun City. And so it took a little bit to get everyone out here. It took several years, but by that time, everyone was out here. So we had a little bit more family than just us.
And yeah, to make a long story short, kid is Jewish and did have some Israeli ties. But what's probably more important is that everybody thought that AZ Tech was Kent's baby. But in actuality, it was Lori's. Lori then created a subsidiary of AZ Tech called GTEK Industries, a security firm in which they work with the DOD, the NHS, and the intelligence community. And yes, people, your suspicions were correct. E3 Tech and AZ Tech was involved with the Iron Dome project via Raytheon. Oh, and multiple projects across the Department of Defense, the intelligence community, and the Department of Homeland Security, which is probably just as important, if not more important. Flashback. Remember in the first video how I was like, it's super weird how Erica Kirk was able to work with the U.S. military in Romania, of all places, to start the Romanian Angels Adoption Service nonprofit organization. Starting to make a little bit more sense now. But speaking of the Romanian Angels and Erica Kirk, did you guys ever wonder how she became Miss Arizona? Well, despite never competing in a beauty pageant in her life, she woke up one day, received a letter in the mail, and was invited to compete in the competition and decided it was a good way to expand her evangelism and do the Lord's work. Now, any beauty pageant contestant can tell you, it's hard as shit to win a beauty pageant, even if you've been on the circuit your entire life, which most of these beauty queens have been. But Erica won on her first go. Wow, that's impressive and really coincidental. And then she did try to become Miss USA. She didn't place, but she got an opportunity that's worth more than any pageantry sash. You see, at the same time she was involved in this pageantry, and at the same time she was running a nonprofit organization in Romania, she was also a talent director for Miss USA, which at the time was owned by none other than Donald J. Trump. You cannot make this up. So while Erica was a talent director for Donald Trump, of all people, she was simultaneously somehow able to run a nonprofit organization in Romania, adopting little kids to random people. And allegedly those kids were being shipped off to like Israel, the UK, and other places. Now, that wouldn't be suspect in and of itself, but we can't necessarily accuse her of being directly involved. But there is that pesky little detail about the fact that she got help from soldiers that were working on a NATO base in Romania. And that NATO base just so happened to have a child brothel. And there's that pesky little fact that we don't actually know how involved the military was, because they decided to not document anything involving their involvement with that nonprofit organization. And if you know anything about the military or have served in the military, you know not documenting literally anything that any soldier does is a big ass no-no. But somehow she was able to get away with it. And yeah, Erica's mom all of a sudden decided she wanted nothing to do with this organization and tried to pretend like she had nothing to do with it. And I can see why, if you were recruiting soldiers from a military base that had a child brothel on it, and your nonprofit organization was right down the street. But like I said in my last video, it was a point of emphasis for Lori to brag about her co-founding this organization with Erica, which would make sense because Erica was basically a kid, a young adult when this nonprofit in another country was founded. Oh, well, there's that in the fact that in the promotional video for the nonprofit, Lori's voice is literally the narrator. So there's that.
I believe that we all have angels in our lives. And these are my little angels from Antonio Placement Center in Constanța, Romania. Our goal with the Romanian Angels Project was to show these children the true American heart during the holiday season. And what better way to do that than having our United States military personally deliver the gifts?
So given all the information I just told you, Do you think it makes more sense that Erica just so happened to meet Charlie Kirk in Israel because her and her mom were on a pilgrimage?
2016, Reuters reported in 2016, trafficked Romanian children, broken toys, neglected by the state and charities. 2024, trafficking ring preyed on vulnerable Romanian teens.
I did a deep dive last night into Erica Kirk, or Erica France's Romanian Angels organization, which was an organization that was linked with the U.S. military and accused of trafficking underage girls in Romania. Now, since this issue started going viral, pop-ups like this, which I have never seen before in my entire life, have started showing up on Google. So utilizing Google to try and find this information is probably not going to deem fruitful. The main sources we're going to use today, and I will post the articles right here, are G4 Media, Active News, and, excuse me, I'm going to try and pronounce this, Stripent Ruviata, which are all Romanian news organizations, as well as a video posted to the video sharing site Vimeo, V-I-M-E-O, that features Erica Kirk talking about this organization directly. Now, that Vimeo video is about 3 minutes long. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to play it, but I do encourage you to go look it up while it is still available, because it's posted on her personal Vimeo page at Erica France V. It's titled Romanian Angels. So just to go over timelines here, in 2012, Erica Kirk, then Erica France V, competed in the 2012 Miss USA pageant as Miss Arizona, started working for Donald Trump, and then immediately after that went to Romania and posted this following video on her Vimeo page 12 years ago. Okay, so this video was posted 12 years ago on her personal page, and most of the video is just clips of her giving gifts to orphans. However, I want to pay attention to this thank you message at the end that thanks Colonel Busher, because his name is going to come up again. Essentially, Romanian Angels was an organization that connected Romanian orphans to members of the U.S. military, and under the guise of giving them gifts. The person and the organization that she thanks at the end of that video, Colonel Busher and Associate United Hands Romania, have proven ties to child trafficking at multiple different points of their time in Romania. According to ctnews.ro, Associate United Hands Romania had close ties with the U.S. military at the Black Sea Rotational Force 17.1 and at the Mihal Kogalsanu military base. Now, forgive me for these pronunciations. I don't speak Romanian. In this article from January of 2020 from activenews.ro, I translated it, so let me just read it to you. It says, a former translator from the American base in Kogalsanu accuses a real brothel operated here where minors were brought in. The woman filed a criminal complaint with DICOT, D-I-I-C-O-T, requesting that the Kogalsanu file be connected to the Carousel Develsalu file. DICOT is the branch of the Romanian government that investigates organized crime. Now, for background, the Carousel Develsalu file was a criminal case in which a 18-year-old girl and a 15-year-old girl, Louisa and Alexandra, respectively, disappeared under alarming circumstances, shockingly close to a U.S. military base in Romania. And when they caught the person that they accused of kidnapping both girls, the locals had said that that man had close ties with the U.S. military base in Romania. Now, backing it up to Colonel Busher of the U.S. Army, Erica's bestie, okay? I'm going to go back to that article from January 2020. The Carousel case in the summer of 2019 brought the Develsalu base to the forefront. That's the military base, with voices linking the disappearances of the two girls to human trafficking networks and the military unit hosting American troops. The translator cited at the beginning of this article is named Anna Maria Nusanu, who claims that a real brothel operated in this military unit and on this military base, where underage girls were brought here to satisfy the desires of some soldiers. Nusanu notified the prosecutor's office about this brothel on the premises of the military base, and although there was an extensive investigation carried out by the American and Romanian authorities, an agreement signed in 2001 between the two countries was invoked. In that agreement, Romania ceded the right of investigation to the U.S. military. Anytime there were crimes committed on a U.S. military base in Romania, those crimes could not be investigated by Romanian authorities. They were then investigated internally by the U.S. military. The article then says, among those who would have benefited from the services of the young girls brought to the Kogal-Nisanu base would have been the commander of the Black Sea Area Support Team, Colonel Otto Busher, helped by his right-hand senior adjunct platoon leader, Lloyd Sparks. So, the very person that Erica was thanking at the end of that Vimeo video that I showed you is then implemented in child sex trafficking crimes. The article goes on to say, the document contains absolutely incredible information and details, which the author of the complaint, Anna Maria Nusanu, argues with concrete evidence in which under normal conditions would have led to convictions and long prison terms. However, since we are talking about military interests, the U.S. and NATO, these are forces that always try to put these matters on the back burner whenever such scandals explode in the public space, the journalist writes. The case was effectively buried when the Americans invoked this agreement that they had with Romania that essentially prohibits Romanian authorities from investigating these crimes and hands over all investigative authority to the United States military. Here is another article from activenews.ro that provides further proof that Colonel Otto Busher, the person that Erica thanked for helping her with the orphans, was directly involved in these trafficking crimes. In that article, there are translations of his messages where he is negotiating prices for underage girls. So at the very least, the person she was running that organization with, the U.S. military officer that was helping her do these things, has at multiple points been implicated in trafficking Romanian minors to U.S. military bases. And at the very least, we deserve some kind of explanation as to why she left Romania, why the organization just stopped operating, and why all of this information regarding that man, her connections to him, and what Romanian Angels did while in Romania, while on that U.S. military base, has been essentially scrubbed from Google. And even if we are to assume that maybe she found out about everything and left, why wouldn't you speak up? Why wouldn't you use the power that you now hold to hold the U.S. military accountable and talk about the horrific experience that you had being associated with child traffickers in Romania? That's weird to me. And why is it that everyone who has some sort of working relationship with President Trump has ties and accusations regarding this topic? This is not a normal thing. I have lived a very colorful life. Never in my life have I landed myself in a situation where there were even accusations, even a rumor of me being affiliated with underage child trafficking. This is not a normal thing. I have lived a very colorful life. Never in my life have I landed myself in a situation where there were even accusations, even a rumor of me being affiliated with underage child trafficking. Everything about it is fishy. So thank you for coming on this.
So the military was involved with child rings. Her parents were involved with the military. Erica Kirk was involved with Trump through the beauty pageant. And around the same exact time as when Trump was hanging around Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein and flying to his island.
Given all the information I just told you, Do you think it makes more sense that Erica just so happened to meet Charlie Kirk in Israel because her and her mom were on a pilgrimage? Or was her mom there on a work trip and they just so happened to meet Charlie Kirk? And given that Erica Kirk worked directly for Donald Trump and Charlie Kirk's father was actually one of the main architects that designed Trump Tower, do y'all really believe that job interview turned date turned marriage was a coincidence? Well, in Erica Kirk's own words, nothing is a coincidence.
But nothing is by coincidence.
Now, given all this information, that probably explains why Erica Kirk has been acting weird as shit for a supposed widow. Didn't say a word when J.D. Vance pulled up on Air Force 2 and removed Charlie Kirk's body before an autopsy could be done, despite that being totally contrary to how Utah handles homicides.
He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Has said absolutely nothing about the new footage and the new footage and more new footage and information proving that Tyler Robinson probably not only isn't guilty, but there was probably either more than one shooter and other devices involved in the murder of her husband. And that would probably explain why the memorial service for Charlie Kirk was held in Arizona instead of Illinois, where Charlie Kirk is from, where his parents live, and where he started his very first chapter of PPUSA. And the little known tidbit that his parents nor the rest of his family showed up to that memorial. But I guess if your parents suspect that your wife could be complicit in your death, or at least are suspect of your intentions, it would be hard to plan a funeral with them in Charlie Kirk's actual place of birth, because it could get a little bit awkward. Hell, for shits and giggles, I challenge y'all, drop all those photos with Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk's parents and show how much they got along so well. So like I said, this whole situation is sinister as shit. And it really doesn't matter at this point whether I liked Charlie or not. Somebody is lying. The motive behind this man's death isn't exactly what we have been told it was. And we need to figure out the truth.
I read that Kirk's dad worked on Trump Towers. Can you find anything on this? Of course I can. Charlie Kirk's dad, Robert Kirk, is the sole owner, founder, CEO, and president of Group A Architecture, Inc. And he is also the president at Group A Architects, which is another company, but they're connected. The architectural and engineering service company was originally founded in 1985 under the name Kirk Plus Partners, but it has since changed. According to multiple sources, his father, Robert Kirk, was one of the architects who was involved in creating Trump Tower. This is just from the Wikipedia page. There are a bunch of other articles, but most of them are paywall, so I didn't want to share those ones. Another fun fact is that Charlie Kirk's dad, Robert, was one of the largest donors for Mitt Romney. Charlie Kirk came from money, okay? Another fun fact is that Charlie Kirk's mom was a stock trader for CME for years, but she has since made the switch from stock trading. From the stock exchange and now works in the mental health and psychology industries.
After watching this video, I think we need to put our eyes on Miss Erica, because what you all are about to hear and see and watch, oh my gosh.
Now, because we want to know who Erica is and her history and her past, we must begin with her mother. Who is her mother? Well, Erica Kirk's mother goes by the name Lori Francevy, and she is the CEO of a major security company called E3 Tech Group, and they have defense contracts, and she had contracts and still has contracts with the government operating for the Department of Defense, and also operates with big names like NASA. Now, I played for you this clip of Erica winning this beauty pageant in 2012 for a reason, because that beauty pageant was owned by Donald J. Trump. Now make note, this is before she had met Charlie Kirk. She was about 17 years old at the time of her winning this beauty pageant. After this, she, at the tender age of 17, would then go to Romania and then open a ministry called Romanian Angels. And this ministry, and this was a children's ministry that also was receiving funding and receiving aid from the U.S. military. At the time of their operation in Romania, there was an unusual activity that was detected by the Romanian government, which then forced the government to end up shutting down Romanian Angels and to kick off the Americans who were operating at that site because children were going missing. Now, again, this is allegedly, it's allegations. But think about the names. The colonel that was actually featured in this video, his name was actually among the names that was brought up concerning child, trafficking and children disappearing in general. These are the people that she was working with. And it's quite interesting that she was connected to Trump, and Trump's name is connected to Epstein, and Epstein's name is linked with the country that has a hexagram for its symbol on its flag. You know what I'm talking about. So I want to make you think about something here. You've got a 17-year-old beautiful young lady who is the face of this ministry, Romanian Angel. She is the CEO of this ministry, and through her, you've got big names behind her like Trump, and Trump is linked with Epstein, and Epstein is linked with so many billionaires. My brothers and sisters, this was an agent in operation, and she also has the rings in her hand that belongs to Freemasonry. And I'm going to point this out to you as well. Charlie Kirk, before he met Erica, or before they were brought together, I have no reason to believe that they accidentally just bumped into each other. It was orchestrated for them to be together. Why do I say this? Well, think about it.
As if things couldn't be any more suspicious than they already are, can anybody tell me why I can't find a picture of Erica Kirk pregnant? None. Not one. Not any in her podcast, not any in an interview. I cannot find one picture of Erica Kirk pregnant. Can someone find me a picture or a video or something? Something's feeling off about this. It's giving Obama vibes. I went through all of her Instagram posts, all of her Facebook posts, all of the videos, all of the reels. I scoured Google. I can't find one picture of her pregnant. Why wouldn't they have one single picture of her pregnant? Something is going on with this. It's feeling made up, guys. It's giving vibes that this was all set up. Something was orchestrated. Because the only people that don't have pictures of them pregnant are the ones that were never pregnant. Like I said, it's giving Obama vibes. So if anybody could find a picture of her pregnant or a video, I'd appreciate it.
They told us the story was simple. A tragedy, a grieving widow, a nation watching in sympathy. But scratch the surface and the mask falls fast. The widow might not be who she says she is. Evidence is emerging that she was groomed, trained and positioned in place. Not to mourn, but to inherit. Behind her polished smile and professional public performances lies a pipeline of children moved across borders, fortunes rerouted offshore, and influence funneled straight into the hands of her handlers. Erica Kirk liked to present herself as an everyday hero. To her audience, she was the face of faith, family, and service. But long before the hashtags and photo ops, accusations were already circulating. Accusations that her so-called ministry in Romania was a front for trafficking children across borders. Back in the early 2000s, Erica worked as a model and casting director. Soon after, she reinvented herself as the head of the Romanian Angels, an NGO operating in Constanța, Romania, a city infamous as a trafficking hub. On paper, her group partnered with the US military and placed children into adoption. But locals told a different story. That kids were being taken, not protected, and funneled straight into networks supplying Israel and private islands with very young orphans.
The area in Romania where she was operating this ministry had a bunch of locals accusing these evangelical ministries of kidnapping children and trafficking them out of the country.
Charlie was actually a master builder of people.
I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA.
was Charlie Kirk's memorial on September 13th. We had 33 all in the picture. Then on the 13th, they had his memorial in Glendale, Arizona. Is Glendale, Arizona on the 33rd parallel? We saw 33 in Trump and Charlie Kirk's hats with the 347s, 11, 11, 11, 33. The memorial was on the 13th. He was buried the memorial was on the 33rd parallel, which is very big in Freemasons. Turning Point USA is headquartered in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona is on the 33rd parallel. It was a 33-hour manhunt to find Charlie Kirk's shooter. So, y'all tell me, let's get into this. Charlie Kirk was opinionated on so many other issues, but not on Freemasons. He would not touch it.
What do you think about the Freemasons? I've seen a lot of conspiracies and a lot of good
strong
stuff.
opinions about it, honestly.
I don't have strong opinions about it, honestly, but he'll have strong opinions about the Bible or strong opinions about the gay lifestyle or strong opinions on the family, supposedly, or strong opinions on not giving Mary enough honor. He has strong opinions on everything else, but he humbly says, I don't really have a strong opinion on Freemasons, which is against his personality, but he knows he can't touch it because he is.
What do you think about the Freemasons? I've seen a lot of conspiracies and a lot of good
strong
stuff.
opinions about it, honestly. It could be right. I've known some people that have been Masons that have just been like regular everyday people, but I'm open-minded.
What do you think about the Freemasons? I've seen a lot of conspiracies and a lot of good
strong
stuff.
opinions about it, honestly. It could be right.
They could be right.
I've known some people that have been Masons that have just been like regular everyday people, but I'm open-minded.
He don't have a strong opinion on it, and he is open-minded. On a church poster, making the Freemasons hand signals. The handshake. He knows what he's doing.
And listen to this, guys. Every assassination, like the famous ones we know, they were buried 3 days later. RFK, autopsy and buried within 5 days. Martin Luther King, 3 days. Even Lincoln, when he had like the 20-day burial train, there was a destination. It was a grave. Charlie was shot on September 10th, flown to Arizona the next day in a casket and embalmed. No confirmed burial site, no named medical examiner, no autopsy results. Officials say, yeah, this is Tyler's in custody, right? And all we get to see is these VHS, like we're in 1992 and someone pissed on your VHS camera. It's not a good video, but the good videos, they said they're not going to release it. And the shot that hit him, that whole area is already paved over. There's no burial. Still, this breaks every precedent. Why keep the grave a mystery? And why roll out Charlie's grave through AI? I think they're prepping us. I mean, this is a perfect way to control a narrative that he can never defend. Now, this is allegedly, and I don't know anything. I just ask questions, and maybe I can ask the questions that Candace can't, because she's connected to TPUSA, which I feel like now is toilet paper.
Oh, and I forgot to point out, y'all remember the trap door where he was?
Where it all happened, it's now open to the public again. There's lots of people coming here, placing flowers, cards, things like that. The university is already making some changes. They're replacing the grass where Charlie Kirk was.
So there is a trap door in the concrete where his tent was set up.
This might be nothing, but then again it might. This happened yesterday in Utah, right after Charlie Kirk got shot. Less than an hour after the shooting, a private jet took off from Provo Airport. This plane right here, November 88 Kilo Golf. Flew down to Page, Arizona. It's about a 35 to 40 minute flight. was there for less than an hour, and it flew back to Provo. Was it connected to Charlie Kirk? Maybe. We don't know. But somebody pointed that out. I did a little bit of research, and it does look very suspicious. So I'm sure whoever's doing the investigation will check it out and is checking it out. And maybe it's nothing. Maybe.
There's no death certificate. There's no ballistics report. There was no crime scene investigation. There were no paramedics. There were no police swarming it right after. There was a plane that left 30 minutes right after that was 20 minutes away from the venue. There was a funeral held 11 days after in a stadium that was or wasn't booked 4 months before, that was booked in 11 days and put together with pyrotechnics and WWE-style showmanship. You have a shooter that left the screwdriver on the roof, changed 3 times or 2 times, and left the rifle, assembled the rifle, disassembled the rifle in 6 seconds. Then they found the rifle on Palantir property. Somehow he reassembled the rifle without the screwdriver that he left on the thing. Just all of it. None of it makes sense.
So
and
this
it's
is
the
JFK
same
all over again.
It's the exact same pattern down to the magic bullet that supposedly a 30-06 or whatever the heck it was or whatever that was stopped by Superman's bones. The exact same, the Patsy, all of it is JFK.
Do you think the guy that they're saying that shot him, which doesn't seem to be believable.
You mean the guy that went to college for a month at a CIA school whose parents were in the government did something that what? No, I don't.
So is he going to go down?
I believe it as much as I believe that a bullet whizzed past the president's ear.
Yeah, I know. Do you think that he's going to go down for the crime?
I think he will not make it to trial.
And one thing that's bothered me is the Superman connection, because they want to give the world a hero. So there's Superman poster in the background. Then they said that Charlie's body was so powerful it stopped bullets from hitting other people. Today I learned that Charlie Kirk's exceptional bone density amazingly stopped the high-powered bullet from exiting his body, potentially saving people standing behind him during the tragic shooting. The surgeon described Kirk as like the man of steel, noting that such rounds typically pass through and could have killed others. Trump hails Charlie Kirk as America's hero. Charlie Kirk's final miracle revealed by surgeon who examined fatal neck wound. Charlie Kirk ally reveals absolute miracle that may have saved lives during the fatal shooting. Andrew Colvett says Kirk's doctor called it miraculous that the high-powered round did not exit the TPS USA founder's body. MAGA's latest absurdity, the man of steel. Kirk's dense bones saved lives. So they have to give people a hero. They have to give the American public somebody to put their affections on, somebody to look like as the all-American guy, somebody to have a hero on, so that you're looking over here at Charlie Kirk, so you're not seeing what they're doing behind the scenes. While they're looking virtuous, talking about how sacrificial Charlie Kirk was to take a bullet for Americans, and we should all honor Charlie Kirk, and getting everybody in their feelings, they're creating a great reset behind our back. And they're covering up things that they were involved in. Let's keep going.
Charlie Kirk is buried, by the way. Has anybody heard where Charlie Kirk is buried, by the way? Has Charlie Kirk been buried? Has there been a funeral, or was it just the pyrotechnic infused, fundraiser that was spied on by a company that deployed geofencing technology which is an Israeli-based company, which Erica Kirk's mom sits on the board of directors for. Was it that? Was that it? Was that the only funeral? The same company that Erica Kirk is on the board for, this Israeli-based geofencing, aka spy company. Was it that company that spies on churches, that spies on Christians, that knows when they're at church so that they can flood their phones with pro-Israel propaganda? Was it those people? These are the people that are just, I mean, there's a lot of anomalies here. There are a lot of weird circumstances all the way around with this thing. Has Charlie Kirk been buried? Does anybody know that? Was there an actual funeral for close family members? Did the media cover that at all? What cemetery has he been buried in? The chain of custody, the alleged chain of custody of Charlie Kirk's body going directly in to the custody of the vice president, J.D. Palantir, flew in with Air Force Two, picked up Charlie Kirk's body and took it to some undisclosed location. And I do hear a lot of things about Valhalla.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all to the Kirk family or anything, but what's going on with this right here, y'all?
I love you. I love you. I know. I love you. I love you. God bless you.
To the Kirk family, like I said, I'm the only one that's really been making videos taking up for it, everything that's going on, explaining the whole ring situation at Hinge and Open, all that. But please don't take this as me being disrespectful, because that's not the case at all. I know that sometimes we want to keep memories. We all grieve in different ways, y'all. I've been to so many funerals. It's just absolutely heartbreaking. But this right here, this is confusing to everybody. And whoever was recording was, right there with her recording it. You know what I mean? I just don't know, y'all. I just don't know. Like, to the Kirk family, I apologize. I'm not, like I said, for the third time, I'm not being disrespectful. We just want to know come out and talk to us and kind of explain to us what's going on.
Do Freemasons have a turning point? What is Freemason? 1717 being a significant turning point. Turning point, the uncrusting of American Freemasonry. And where's Charlie Kirk buried? So I love Find a Grave. I put all my family information, connecting everybody, friends that I know, connecting them to their family. When you go look up Charlie Kirk on Find a Grave, burial details unknown, specifically info not disclosed by the family.
Charlie Kirk left behind no coroner's report, no church funeral, no burial site, no grave, no official death certificate, nothing that marks a man as dead, just silence where answers should be. And still, no autopsy, no findings released, no ballistics report, not a single eyewitness on the record. Yet somehow, his widow steps into his spotlight as if the script was written months in advance. The entire crime scene? Erased within hours. They tore down everything, even the Dairy Queen. Evidence wiped away with surgical precision. Where were the paramedics? Why was Charlie's body secretly removed and illegally flown out on Air Force Two? Why did Donald Trump pardon a Navy SEAL killer whose shadow touches this case too neatly to ignore? And the stadium. Turning Point booked it 4 months before Charlie died, and a massive high-tech memorial was produced in just 11 days. A timeline that doesn't make sense. Now look at Erica Kirk. Multiple women appearing publicly as Erica. No birth certificates for the children. No names. No faces. Not a single video of Charlie with his own kids. Not at a birthday, not at a picnic, not anywhere. A family with zero digital footprint in 2025. Freemasonic and occult symbols circle this tragedy with eerie consistency. symbols nobody wants to talk about. And the gun? Found on property owned by Palantir. Interesting. Meanwhile, Kash Patel removed multiple FBI leaders in that district just days before the shooting. And Charlie sold his home for $5 million 8 months before his death. Then ask yourself this. If the father of your 2 young children had just been murdered, would you really leave them with a nanny and go on podcasts smiling from ear to ear? And the beauty pageant thread only makes the picture stranger. A 17-year-old first-time Trump pageant contestant wins. And later, Trump appoints a woman from that same pageant, with 0 experience, to one of the highest legal roles in the country. Coincidence or choreography? This is only a fraction of the evidence, just a sliver of what's been buried or erased. And if you strip away the emotion and follow the trail, the conclusion doesn't whisper, it pounds on the door. Undeniable. So now I want to hear from you. What do you make of all this? Inside job? Is he still alive? Or is this something else entirely?
So in a murder investigation, we saw that the standard procedure is for the police to interview witnesses. We haven't heard any kind of thing about police, but we've got just a couple of witnesses on camera talking to reporters, and none of them seem devastated to have witnessed what they witnessed. I know if I personally witnessed something like that, I'd be really shook up. I would not be able to talk so coherently and almost like I'm smiling.
And got her to calm down and put her in my car. I knew it was a gunshot tucked behind the corner, and then I saw all the crowd running as fast as they could, and I was worried about people trampling each other. And I saw 2 girls, 2 college-age girls, one was having a panic attack. So I grabbed both of them because she was collapsing and rushed her down underneath the tunnel and got her to calm down and put her in my car and got her hold of her parents. I knew it was a gunshot tucked behind the corner.
This says crisis actor.
I saw Charlie Kirk get shot. I saw Charlie Kirk get shot.
They did a second take.
I saw Charlie Kirk get shot. I saw Charlie Kirk get shot. He collapsed in his seat. He fell over to the side. He was carried off. He had blood on his arms. He had blood on his shirt. He was dragged off and carried out of the venue. There was a gunshot that rang out. No, I'm not okay. I saw someone get shot today. Yeah. So. I saw Charlie Kirk get shot. He collapsed in his seat. He fell over to the side. He was carried off. He had blood on his arms. He had blood on his shirt.
And we didn't see any blood on his shirt. We saw it come out of his neck and then he fell over. So how did he see blood on his shirt?
He was dragged off and carried out of the venue. There was a gunshot that rang out.
You okay?
I'm not okay. I saw someone get shot today.
Yeah, question.
Did you guys see what happened?
Yes, I saw him. Are you recording this?
Yes, you're live right now. Well, we're recording. I don't know if we're live because of the cell service. Hang on.
I was standing in probably the third. Okay. I was standing from probably the 3rd row in the bottom. I saw hit. I heard the shot ring out. I looked to my left, and then I looked over to my right. I saw him slump over in his chair forward. He slumped over. He had blood coming from the left side of his neck down his shirt, and he slumped over and he was carried off. Get off me! Get off me!
Emotions are running high right now.
I'm thinking that guy was a crisis actor and was only supposed to talk in that one area. And now they were trying to shut him up to quit talking so they could control the narrative.
I created a safe air squib that is easy to rig. I take great pride in our commitment to create the best product.
Now, this is just moments before the shooting. He's wearing the maroon shirt, but yet when they show him coming off of the building, he's wearing the dark colored shirt. Where did he change his clothes at, and how did he do it so fast?
Look how tiny that is. Wow.
It's my own DIY streaming setup. Those professional ones cost like $5,000. Yeah.
I just don't remember what that is. I've seen small ones, but I haven't seen that small.
This is the mic right here. This is the receiver for this.
Yeah. How far will that transmit? Really?
So this says it was at 12:15. That other clip said Charlie was shot at 12:23. So 8 minutes later, how did he have time to walk from the other side of the campus, get on the roof, change his clothes, assemble the rifle in 8 minutes? Does that look big enough for a rifle to fit in?
So that way, if I have multiple cameras, you don't miss any angle, you know.
Who makes that camera?
It's Logitech. Yeah, it's I have a bigger one at home I don't like to bring out here.
It's a pretty wide angle.
It has a micro four thirds lens.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh, it's that big, huh?
Yeah, it's like a cube like this big. And
So we saw him 8 minutes before the shooting wearing the red shirt and shorts. And then when he was getting off the building, he was in the black shirt and black pants. So how in 8 minutes did he get through the crowd on the other side, change his clothes? Where did he go into a bathroom to change his clothes? Change his clothes, unpack the rifle that looked like it couldn't even fit in that backpack, assemble it, put it together, get in position, take one shot, leave the screwdriver there, jump off the building. Where did he change his clothes at in 8 minutes? We're just asking questions. If this was a court of law and evidence would be being presented, the defense lawyer would be like, how did my client have time to change clothes?
All right. Hear me out, because this shit's getting fishy. We're told this man stuffed a scoped Mauser 98 bolt-action rifle into his pants and hobbled away to a school. And yet on camera, He's walking perfectly fine. His clothes are fitted enough that you can make out his phone outline in his right pocket, but somehow not a disassembled rifle in his pant legs. But here's the problem with that, because when law enforcement and authorities say that he broke the rifle down or disassembled it, a lot of people don't seem to understand what that would entail with a firearm of this kind. Removing the bolt's easy. You just lift the bolt handle, pull it all the way back, press the bolt stop, and then the bolt just kind of slides right out. And that leaves you with like a 7-8-inch steel bolt firing pin assembly. But then you still have a 40 to 49-inch barreled locked action into a stock. To break those down, you need what's called a barrel vise and an action wrench, which look like this, and need to be mounted into a sturdy frame before they can even be used. Then, apparently, he climbs onto the roof, calmly reassembles this antique scoped bolt-action rifle, fires one perfectly placed shot, and within maybe 3 seconds, he's already in a full sprint before the crowd is even hardly reacting to the pop. And here's where it goes from a little unbelievable to absurd. We're supposed to think that he breaks it down again, shoves the smoking hot barrel back into his back because, let's be real, no one's going to strap that against their nuts, and then immediately takes off, running at a full tilt, a feat that would be physically impossible with a broken down rifle clanking against your scrotum. Next, he unslings this bag. He tosses it, he jumps down, scoops it back up, and keeps running. But even broken down, that rifle wouldn't fit in a standard day pack like the one he's wearing. But wait, there's more. He allegedly sprints into the woods, reassembles it again, just to ditch it neatly wrapped up with some anti-trans rhetoric. And then we're told he confesses to his Mormon youth pastor, a man representing the very institution he supposedly just radicalized himself against, and they agree he'll turn himself in, only for him to immediately refuse to cooperate once he's in custody. So I don't know. Maybe cut the crap and tell us about the Epstein files.
And it don't make sense he would have it wrapped up with anti-tranny stuff when his boyfriend, girlfriend was a tranny. But watch this comedy gold. Tyler Robinson right after the shooting.
Oh, I can't believe I just did that. I should probably get the heck out of Dodge, but first, let me text my leftist trans lover every detail of what I just did and why. Been planning for a week.
So let me show y'all before we see the rest. This really happened. New York Post. While he's in the woods, supposedly dismantling that rifle and then reassembling it and all that, he's texting his boyfriend and telling him everything he did and why he did it. While he's putting anti-trans stuff in the evidence with the gun, he's texting his tranny boyfriend, girlfriend, and telling them why he did it. So one side of him is pro-tranny and the other is anti-tranny.
Oh, I can't believe I just did that. I should probably get the heck out of Dodge, but first, let me text my leftist trans lover every detail of what I just did and why. Been planning for a week. Engraved the bullets. Disassembled the rifle, reassembled the rifle, disassembled the rifle, reassembled the rifle, disassembled the rifle, reassembled the rifle without a screwdriver while running. Put it in the woods, covered it in a towel. I did this for you. And send. All right. It's a good thing that I, Tyler Robinson, someone who has a 4.0 GPA and a 34 on the ACT, is smart enough to know that there is no way that the FBI could ever get a hold of my text messages.
So a 17-year-old model in Romania starts a charity Her parents are also in the defense contractor, Raytheon, whatever the heck it was. Starts a charity, gets investigated for child trafficking. It happens to be a model for the Trump-owned.
Right.
Marries this guy. He passes away. She becomes a superstar, takes over. There's no death certificates. There's no birth certificates. There's no marriage license.
Examined the body?
What body? There's no burial. There's no burial plot.
That's the thing.
And when you saw her over the body, it looked plastic. It was the next day. So when was there time for an autopsy?
If they actually is not a whole stage and, that's not ketchup, I want to know which is the exit wound.
This was an exit wound.
Right. It was
Guaranteed.
here, right?
Look, you got a 30-06, no matter what. I mean, look, when I was in Louisiana, I had a hog problem. Mm-hmm. If I shot a hog with a 30-06, that hog would not have a face. That's that. There's no way in hell the human body can withstand a 30-06 shot.
But Charlie's body withstood it, and his bone density was so good it was like Superman's, and it kept anybody else from being killed. Charlie's body stopped it, defied the laws of physics.
Got a 30-06, no matter what. I mean, look, when I was in Louisiana, I had a hog problem. Mm-hmm. If I shot a hog with a 30-06, that hog would not have a face. That's that. There's no way in hell the human body can withstand a 30-06 shot. Stop there. You want a conspiracy? Stop there. There's no way that gun that they found that you didn't see him get off the roof with, there's no way. Once you, look, take everything else out. Take all of the propaganda. Take everything everybody else said. Did a 30-06 bullet hit that man's neck?
Y'all, it's just a psyop, okay? And psyops aren't going to always get it right. I think this man's going to cuss a lot, but listen to his points.
So Tyler Robinson was supposed to be at an in-person court appearance today. At the last minute, they postponed it until January. If anybody doesn't know, my page grew visibility when I called this shit from day one, so this is my I told you fucking so. That's not the only thing that's happened. Tyler Robinson hasn't been seen publicly since his initial court appearance. The partner and roommate disappeared. Apartments abandoned, mails piling up. Neighbors haven't seen anything. Kash Patel directed Tulsi Gabbard's office not to investigate outside influence. Every single bit of the evidence they have, it's fishy as fuck. That's just the investigation. We can talk about the lack of a death certificate. No real investigation into the crime scene. They paved over it within 2 or 3 days. Paved over it. No real funeral. Body flown in secrecy. You have to be an absolute fucking moron to believe this lie they're feeding. Personally, Tyler Robinson, I don't think he did it. I think he was involved. I think he was used. I know he didn't make a shot. Anybody will tell you a 30-06 rifle, that white 10 isn't going to be white anymore. I think Tyler Robinson is eventually going to be really, really quiet. I think the name Tyler Robinson is eventually going to be in the news as an Epstein type deal.
And y'all remember, a psyop changes to try to make everything fit together. And the first part that we saw was a 71-year-old man being arrested. Well, then the 71-year-old man told the cops that he shot Charlie Kirk in order to give the real shooter time to escape. Does that make any sense? Why would he have a dog in this fight? It makes no sense.
And I do want to take you out to some of this video that you may have seen on the day of that assassination here, as investigators now say the man who they initially thought was Charlie Kirk's assassin admitted to screaming that he was the gunman to allow the real shooter to get away. Earlier today, the Utah Department of Public Safety explained George Zinn had attended that event, and after the gunshot was fired, he screamed that he had shot Charlie Kirk.
All right, let's go over the official Charlie Kirk narrative because I'm kind of slow. 22-year-old who got radicalized online but has no social media presence. Took a rifle but has no shooting experience according to his grandma. Snuck in to this campus, assembled the rifle with no extra tools, put the scope on with no practice shots, had it perfectly aligned, and with one shot, had a shot, took it, disassembled, jumped off the roof, changed clothes again, reassembled the rifle, threw it into the woods, went 250 miles, talked to someone on a random app, and confessed. His dad turns him in. And now here we are. Keep in mind, this 22-year-old with no previous experience of any of this planted two patsies at the event to draw cover for him, claiming they were the shooters briefly, so he could have cover to get away. I haven't seen a ballistics report. I'm not sure if that's been done at all. And the crime scene was started to get broken down by Turning Point members, 6 minutes after this. No crime scene, no investigation, just take it down, shut her down. Charlie Kirk left in an SUV. Still no autopsy that I've seen. But apparently, we got our guy.
This is a theater where you're making it up as you go, and as you see how the audience reacts, you change the story.
Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then
changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UBU.
And you evolve the story, and you create the story. This is a theater production.
Did he write a written note before the assassination attempt? That's what the governor said yesterday.
I'm sorry. So what I'm able to say is I addressed it partially earlier, is that the written note, we believe, did exist, and we have evidence to show what was in that note, which is, and I'm going to summarize, basically saying, the suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. That note was written before the shooting. Evidence of its existence, we now have learned, existed before the shooting, was in the location, in the suspect and partner's home. But we have since learned that the note, even though it has been destroyed, we have found forensic evidence of the note, and we have confirmed what that note says because of our aggressive interview posture at the FBI.
In this case, I'm seeing something I've never seen before. When they engineer a theater like this, they always, they like to mock the crowd. I have never seen the mockery this extreme.
In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise.
Bad stuff happens, and for 33 hours, I was for 33 hours, I was.
This is different. This is new. It's a joke. It's a joke that you would say, we have a manifesto, but it disappeared, but we know it existed, and we think we might be able to get it. It's like, what are you talking? I mean, no experienced enforcement person would say that, could possibly say that with a straight face.
Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
I mean, it's a mockery, but then, it turns out the roommate, he's got a roommate, the roommate is trans, they were lovers, but he told his lover, before this, and he did it on this, and more and more ridiculous. And every time, and it's a way of mocking at the audience that they can get them to buy this.
Now, I'm sure good afternoon, everyone. Now, I'm sure all of you have noticed online that a lot of people are talking about, why are these people allowed to be in this canopy? Why isn't this marked off and taped off as a crime scene? And why is this guy in the white shirt taking the most very important camera down? What do you think is the most very important camera there? Why is he taking it down? Well, here's why. Because it's not a crime scene. A crime didn't take place here, and that's not a camera. Now, before I tell you what it is, I want you to get a real good look at it as he's taking it down. Anybody figure out what it is yet? Okay, here's what it is. It's called a hologram projector. And if you don't believe me, you can go look them up online. And they're not cheap. They're not cheap. Usually $20 to $60, $70, $80,000 for these things. And they come in different varieties. Now, Hollywood calls them hologram stage projectors. Now, you see how Charlie's little tent there is a perfect square? And as you can tell, it's 10 foot squared, 10 foot all the way around on each square, and it's about 9 foot tall. That's because it has to be for the projection to work. Now, let's explain.
For smaller spaces,
Now, y'all remember, there's a trap door underneath there also.
Explain.
For smaller spaces, the projectors can be configured with mirrors to elongate the projection path and maintain picture integrity. Eyeliner displays ideally require a minimum footprint of 10 feet square and a height of 9 feet to show full-size human figures. What you are seeing is a reflected image which is so true and realistic to the original, it has become known as a virtual image. Many people perceive what they are seeing now as a 3D hologram. In fact, it is a 21st century take on a mid-19th century visual effect known as Pepper's Ghost, showing now on the relay screens. Thanks in part to the amazing optical properties of the eyeliner foil, combined with the light and picture output of Christie Digital high-definition projectors, the image has depth and opacity that actually supersedes the scale and definition of traditional 3D hologram.
Like I said before, 10 foot squared, 9 foot tall. This canopy was made this size for a purpose because it is a hologram stage projection that you guys were watching.
These performers are holograms.
Every series, we take one step closer to achieving all of the sci-fi dreams.
It's pretty cool. You'll never have to miss a gig again. The gig can come to you.
I still believe we've only scratched the surface with this technology. I think we will see pop-up holograms everywhere.
Tyler shoots Charlie Kirk. He runs across the roof. His shadow disappears for some reason. He's like running and he has a shadow, then boom, no shadow as he crosses the rest of the roof. It's like the CGI guy quit halfway through. He's like, ethically, I cannot complete this job. Allegedly, Tyler uses his great-grandfather's rifle. The story is that his great-grandfather used this rifle in World War I. His grandfather used it in World War II, and then Tyler used it to start World War III, apparently. I think that was, and you see him running and then jumping off, just like where did the rifle go? Did it bend with his leg? Some people say, well, actually, he didn't have it in his pants at that point. He has it under a piece of cloth. He disassembled it. Right after he shoots Charlie Kirk, allegedly, he disassembles the rifle for everybody's first move. And actually, there's a screwdriver left on the roof, right at the scene of the crime. And guess what? The screwdriver has his DNA on it. How perfect is that? Tyler, 4.0 student, planned this shooting for like 6 months, interned for the CIA for a little while, and then accidentally leaves his DNA-ridden screwdriver at the scene while he's wearing gloves. How did he get the... Was he just like... By that, a few minutes later, he drops the rifle in a wooded area, fully reassembled. Oh, yeah, with one screwdriver. Did this kid have 2 screwdrivers? I was like, this is my DNA one, this is my non-DNA one. He really tried to trick us, didn't he? Does Tyler like puzzles? Maybe his mom was taking Tyler along.
So y'all think about this. Remember Stu Peterson called J.D. Vance J.D. Palantir? And the gun was found on property owned by Palantir. And Tyler Robinson at one time interned at the CIA. Does this scream PSYOP?
Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
Does Mason signaling let people know they're in the Masons by black and white clothes. Yes, Freemasons often wear black and white attire for lodge meetings and events. The first time we see Erica Kirk after this, she's wearing black and white. At the memorial service, she's wearing black and white with her big gold G ring. When she hugged J.D. Vance with the tight breeches on, she was wearing black and white.
Why is she wearing that huge Masonic symbol on her hand while rubbing Charlie Kirk's dead body? Why did they make sure to put that detail in the video for all of us to see it, you know? This is a normal question. Don't act like something's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with me. I'm asking a genuine question.
This is the turning point, and they've left us so many clues. It should be so obvious now. Freemasons. Donald Trump is now doing his talk at Charlie Kirk's funeral, and listen to what he says here.
I got to know him very well, and saw immediately that Charlie was actually a master builder of people.
He is a master builder.
Charlie was actually a master builder of people.
What does that mean? Freemason, master builder. Freemasonry is an ancient and honourable fraternity. The Master Builder is a title bestowed upon those who have demonstrated their commitment to the principles of Freemasonry and to their brothers in craft. Freemasonry has been in existence for centuries, and its members have had a profound influence on the development of our society. The Master Builder is a title of great respect, honouring members who have contributed significantly to the advancement of Freemasonry by their dedication and hard work. The Master Builder is a symbol of excellence and dedication to the craft, exemplifying leadership qualities, dedication to the service and devotion to the cause of Masonry. People find that hard to accept. That shooting was staged. You saw all the clues left for us. You saw the hats on the table. 3 of them. 4, 7. That's 11 times 3, it's 33. Charlie Kirk's name, C is 3, K is 11. Patel said that they had the man in custody for 33.
To the family of Charlie Kirk, in honor of his memory, I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump. In 33 hours. 33 hours.
And if you listen to the numbers all added up at the court case for Tyler Robinson.
To the judge.
Polling case 251403576. State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson.
33. I don't know how much more obvious we can make it. They've been leaving clues in plain sight for us, but we're now about to find out the truth when it comes to Freemasonry and all the good people that have been fighting for our freedoms against evil from this world. They're all about to come out from the shadows, and we're about to see the truth in plain sight.
Got to know him very well, and saw immediately that Charlie was actually a master builder of people.
Masons. Donald Trump is now doing his talk at Charlie Kirk's funeral, and listen to what he says here.
I got to know him very well, and saw immediately that Charlie was actually a master builder of people.
He is a master builder.
Charlie was actually a master builder of people.
What does that mean? Freemason, master builder. Freemasonry is an ancient and honourable fraternity. The master bestowed upon those who have demonstrated their commitment to the principles of Freemasonry and to their brothers in craft. Freemasonry has been in existence for centuries, and its members, the Builder, is a title bestowed upon those who have demonstrated their commitment to the principles of Freemasonry and to their brothers in craft.
And y'all, here's a link, index of pictures of everything related to, somebody categorized every known picture of the shooting. So y'all, tell me what you think about this. It was a psyop is what I believe. I don't know. I saw an article, and I can't find it, that he had a life insurance policy that was between $20 and $50 million on top of everything that he was worth anyway. Could he be gone somewhere? Could his arranged marriage with Erica be over now and he's gone somewhere else and now she's taken over? But my whole point being is that this was a very divisive situation. And do y'all remember people were getting fired from their jobs for not bowing down and crying over this whole situation? They were saying turn people in if they're online talking bad about this Charlie Kirk thing. So that's how you know it was a psyop, because they didn't want anybody to interfere with the official narrative that they were putting out there. And people are flocking to this situation and acting like he's their friend, like they knew him. A psyop is successful when your emotions get swayed into an action. So they're ringing the Charlie Kirk bell, ding, 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 ding. And the masses are responding the way that they want them to respond. I'm just sending out the call. Put your eyes back on Jesus. The Bible says that no deception was found in Jesus's mouth. But Charlie Kirk had deception when it came to the Freemasons. I don't really have a strong opinion on that. Get your eyes back on Jesus. We are not saved by the blood of Charlie Kirk. Do not worship a man. Do not worship a man. God does not share his glory with anybody else. And the first words out of Jesus's mouth was, let no man deceive you. Deliberately calls you to believe something that is not true or to give a mistaken impression. Jesus is not a man that he should lie, and no deception was found in his mouth. We need to set our eyes on Jesus and not look to a man as a saint in any kind of way, okay? We were all born dead in trespasses and sin. Nobody is better than anybody else. We can all make ourselves feel important when we compare ourselves to other people, but we need to be comparing ourselves to Jesus. I love y'all. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate the content we found on this channel, would you please prayerfully consider supporting the ministry?